What's good, everybody? This is your brother, Mad Black, the most dangerous, most toxic black male on the internet, and I'm black up in your face again with some more pro-black commentary. So I saw an interesting news story from Cincinnati where we have actual police footage of this white female police officer cussing and talking about how much she hates the world because some black families were waiting outside to pick up their kids from school. Yes, that's what made her so upset in this video. And I'm going to play the audio and also the news report that is constructed around this story because, of course, she uses some very colorful language describing black people. She uses the N-word, and like I said, she has this big outburst just because these people are out here waiting to pick up their children. Now, apparently, I guess she was trying to drive around them. She came at the time where there's pickup time, and anyone who's a parent knows when you pick up your kids from school, there's always going to be a lot of cars there. In fact, usually the school gives you a map, or they have like a system of how they want you to pull into or around the parking lot. That way they're not interrupting too much of the neighborhood traffic. But if you live in that neighborhood, you got to know that anytime school lets out, there's always going to be traffic around this time. Or anytime there's a drop-off time, there's always going to be traffic there. That's just the nature of having a school in your neighborhood or a school next to the police station, right? Now, you would think having a school next to the police station in this case would make the school nice and safe, but not from Officer Rose Valentino. Not from this little hateful harpy. You know, she's out here cursing at, talking about how much she hates the world and she hates people and these little N-words and everything else, just because they're in her way, quote unquote. She even put on her siren and the lights, knowing damn well you're not supposed to do that. It wasn't like there was an emergency. She was just driving back into the carport to get back into the police station. That's not an emergency. You don't need to do that. But she did it anyway. I'm going to play the news report, and we're going to hear this is not her first run-in with being shown as a racist, by the way. This is not her first time at the racist rodeo. So let's listen to this news report. Let's listen here about Miss Rose Valentino.
Slurs made by a Cincinnati police officer in uniform. Recently released body cam footage here shows Rose Valentino using a racial slur and also admitting to it.
WCPO 9 News reporter Jake Ryle walks us through this footage.
The city manager in a statement said that the body camera footage is disturbing. Officer Rose Valentino called it an isolated incident, her using a racial slur while on duty. It's April 5th. Officer Rose Valentino is pulling into CPD District 3. Several cars are parked to pick up students at Western Hills University High School. Officer Valentino activated her lights and siren to get the drivers to move.
You gotta move. Ridiculous. Is she gonna just sit there?
A black teen who was leaving school raised his middle finger at Officer Valentino, which set Valentino off.
Oh, I hate him so much. God, I hate this world.
So you see, they gotta blame black people somehow. So you see, it's the black teen's fault for giving her the finger for being an asshole by turning on your lights and siren just to get around some cars when there's not an emergency going on. It's the black kid's fault. You see that? You see how the media plays along with these devils? They blame black kids for getting shot. Now, has she reached her gun out there and pulled her gun out and murdered this kid? They would say, well, he gave her the finger, so it was kind of the black kid's fault. You see that? You see how they do black people like this? With this nonsense, how they defend police, and they still, even though there's no reason for her to be having this meltdown and no reason for her to be acting this way, they're still trying to get out there and make sure they give her some cover by saying the black kid gave her the finger. And we don't even know if this happened because it's not on camera. There's nowhere on camera. This is based on her testimony only. Okay? So she's trying to cover her ass too. Her little flat ass. Let's listen some more.
Hate it.
Several seconds pass. Valentino then uses a racial slur under her breath.
Hate him.
We dug into Officer Valentino's personnel file. She's a 14-year veteran with...
Now, they're going to start with the nice stuff, but then it goes into some of the things that she's been censured for. Let's listen in.
DPD. Her performance report shows she consistently meets or exceeds standards for patrolling. She trains officers who recently graduated from the academy.
So they let her train officers, cursing at kids and getting blown out of proportion or getting all mad and blustered over some kid giving you the finger. As if worse stuff doesn't happen to a police officer. You're getting all bent out of shape about that, but she's the one training police officers when they come out of the academy. So guess what she's teaching them, by the way? I can already guess what she's teaching these people from the academy about how to deal with black people, especially black children. Listen to some more.
Her supervisors say she's dedicated and a hardworking beat officer, adding she comes to work with a positive, motivated attitude, which is appreciated, and
that sure sounded positive inside the car.
Does great work. She's been reprimanded in the past for not turning on her body camera multiple times. And this is not the first time Officer Valentino has been on the city's radar for an issue involving race. In November 2018, she was one of 3 police officers involved in a lawsuit where Jerry Isham, a realtor, was showing a home to Anthony Edwards. Both are black. Court docs show she escalated the situation by aiming her gun at the 2 men and then putting them in handcuffs.
So she's one of those types of cops. She gets called into a situation where you have a realtor showing a house, but because they're both black, that means they must be criminals. They must be robbing this house, by the way, because obviously black people don't have jobs like being a realtor, and black people can't afford a house in this neighborhood. So the only reason they must be here is because they're committing a crime, right? So that's why she came out there, guns drawn, and handcuffing these men. Stinking hoe.
The city settled the case for $151,000. And in March 2020, while off duty, she pushed and punched 2 family members and used an umbrella to damage a car. She was convicted.
So she's got problems. She's got anger management problems. If she's out of uniform and attacking people, and she's going over and above when she's doing an arrest or just going to question somebody, that means there's something wrong with this cop. She's not the perfect angel they try to portray her as a few minutes ago.
By plea of disorderly conduct and was referred to a behavioral health center for anger management. Fast forward to...
Which didn't work, obviously, because like I said, she's cursing at kids who are getting picked up by their parents. As if you don't know what pickup time is or what dismissal time is at a school. Like you've never experienced this before. You're having a meltdown over that. And you don't realize that teenagers do ignorant things like flip people off, and you're having a meltdown talking about how you hate all black people, you hate all N-words for that, and hate the world.
April 5th incident. According to the internal report, Officer Valentino acknowledged her statements weren't appropriate and that she was surprised the racial slur came out.
No, you wasn't.
And that it didn't represent who she was as an officer or how she felt about African Americans. She claimed to have been desensitized to racially offensive language by music and hearing people talk on the street.
Oh, so now it's the rap music. See, she's going for that defense. I listen to rap music and I hear these N-words talk like this on the street. I thought it was okay to say. That's bullshit. Don't let them get away with that nonsense either, because she didn't say I hate you like they say it in the rap song. She said I hate you with the hard N-E-R on the end, okay? She said it in the classic sense, not in the way the rappers say it, all right? And she specifically said, I hate them. She wasn't talking about a rap song, all right? That's nonsense. She's going to blame rap and the way people talk on the street as if black people have regular conversations around her. Ugly wench.
In that report, she said her job is having a negative impact on her mental health, something she's since sought help for.
Well, then you don't need to be doing this job then, ho. Get a new job. See, that's what I don't understand about these police. when they do something they're not supposed to be doing, or when they get caught doing something they're not supposed to be doing, then they blame the job. Well, then you don't need to do the job then. Stop doing it. Quit and go do something else that makes you more fulfilled or doesn't bring you so much stress. Stop doing that job if that job is causing you so much pain that you feel you need to murder people and do bad things to people and be a complete power-hungry asshole to people. Don't do that job then, okay? So you folks let me know how you feel about this story in the comments. I'd very much like to hear your opinion. And anyway, this is Mad Black, and I will be back with my foot on these devils' back.